I'm very excited with how my tomato plants are looking. They had been a little droopy, and now they're looking much better. This first one I'm going to show you is my Cherokee purple tomato. This is one from a seed I saved last year, and I'm really happy with it. The color is pretty, and it's fairly bushy. This one right here has me concerned because it's very, very skinny, and it has what looks like peeled off right here on the stem. I don't know why, just it's like the bark, I don't know what to call it, whatever this is kind of fallen off, and it's got some discoloration. And then it had some leaves right here. There's a little bump where there were leaves, but they fell off, and all that it has are these at the top, and then it's kind of a weird color, and it's kind of bent over right here. It has not grown very much at all, and I really want to try these tomatoes, so I'm hoping that it'll perk up. This here is an antho. I cut off the lower leaves because they look terrible, but the plant is looking better than it did when I planted it in this bigger pot, and it is bushing out and getting new growth at the top, but I'm ready for it to thicken up because, I mean, look at all that. It's just very puny. This right here is a sun sugar. It came highly recommended from several gardeners, that it's a very sweet cherry, a yellow cherry tomato. This one I've had to pinch off blooms several times, and you can see it has these on here again. And I was told that pinching it off helps it to focus on the plant right now and wait until it's in the ground in its permanent spot to let it flower. So I'll probably pinch these little flowers off again. But a week or two ago, these looked kind of sad, and you can see I didn't cut every leaf off that looked bad, but the majority of them I did, and it has gotten more green leaves at the top and looks pretty healthy, I think. This right here is a hillbilly. I love the color of this tomato, and so that's the reason I wanted to grow it. It looks like a very nice slicing tomato, like for eating sandwiches. This also has some leaves at the bottom that have the spots. I think that they probably had cold damage because I left them out, and they've been outside for several weeks, and it did get down in the 40s, not too 40, but maybe 45, 46 degrees, and some people said that that will cause the leaves to look like that. So I plan on bringing everything in for the next few days because our weather is supposed to be high 30s, like between 36 and 40. So I'm going to carry everything back in to be on the safe side. But this also has gotten new green little leaves at the top, and I think it's going to do well. Kind of a gray tomato. I just thought it was interesting and wanted to try it. It's looking much better than it was before in the top, but I did cut off several leaves towards the bottom. The Cherokees are looking decent, I think. I think I've got four Cherokees. This one right here is a Blue Sun. I think this is a dark cherry tomato. Cannot remember, but I think the leaves are interesting. It has large leaves. A Thunder Mountain. Now you can see that these had darkish leaves. Well, the new growth looks very green and pretty. So Atomic Grape, it also is really small, and I did plant this early on, so I'm not sure why it hasn't grown that much, but hopefully it will also start to grow more quickly. I'm trying to fertilize once a week at this point, so I've been using an organic fertilizer that's by Miracle Grow. This is my other Brads. The next one here is a Dr. Wyche's tomato. This one right here is a little behind. Still looks kind of smaller, but it is perking up. The color has improved, and I do see new little growth up at the top. So I think this one's going to be all right as well. Here is a Rio Grande. This is the only paste tomato that I'm trying. I think I've got 2 of these plants. Paste tomatoes aren't my favorite, but I know they are good for making sauces, but so far I have not ever had enough to really store to make a lot of sauce. And so I usually focus on the kind of tomatoes that I like to eat fresh. But this, I did want to grow a paste, so this is the paste that I'm growing. This one also seems to be improving. You see the leaves towards the bottom still have some yellowing. This is another of the Dr. Wyches. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but I think I've got 3 of those plants. And I think I've shown you most of the varieties that I have. I was trying to make sure I showed you everything so you could see how it was doing. This right here is a blue cream. Little, but looks healthy. Just needs to speed it up. This plant here is actually a tomatillo. And I haven't eaten tomatillos, but I hear that they're great for making sauces. You can see here that it started to flower, and it's got several little flowers that have popped up. I'm probably going to take these off also until I get it planted in the ground. But I got this in a seed swap, and it sprouted really quickly, and it just is a really pretty little plant. Now I noticed there's some holes on about 3 or 4 of the leaves, and I cannot find anything on there yet, but I'm going to have to start doing something for pest control. This here is the ananas Noir, and I'm happy with this one. It looks really healthy to me. And this is just one of those tomatoes that when I saw a picture of how it looks sliced, I just wanted to try it. It's a pretty multicolored, like red, orange colored flesh, and it just looks delicious. So I've got a couple. This is another of that same variety. And this last one here is a pineapple tomato that I got in a seed swap from the Naive Urban Gardener. So that completes my tomato plant update. Overall, I think that everything is doing fairly well, and everything will be inside for the next 3 or 4 days until the temperatures warm back up at night. So I hope everyone's having a wonderful spring, and I'll talk to you again soon. See you next time.